Hey everyone, PB at Kotaku here. It's been a while since I last showed up on camera. I've been busy doing my toy bargain hunting runs, but I've been itching to do a review or something like that. Since I started my toy bargain hunting journey, I got back into collecting action figures, and I really grew fond of stuff from Masters of the Universe and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So naturally, I enjoyed the crossover line of action figures between the two properties, Turtles of Grayskull. I even got a few as Christmas gifts. I already own Toobop, Steady, and Splinter, but I still need Slacker and Mousejaw, the latter which already commands high prices on the second-hand market. These are the prices Slacker is commanding on eBay, and I managed to find one on Amazon for a little over 40 bucks. As you can see, I bought it on Amazon resale, and this was the condition. Used like new, comes in OG packaging, nothing about the action figure being complete. Due to the combination of this being the cheapest option and the ease of returns on Amazon, I decided to try my luck. I know I'm taking a real risk here, and part of me does think I'm gonna get owned by receiving an incomplete action figure. Well, there's only one way to find out. Before that, if you enjoy the content, make sure to drop a like, leave a comment, and sub to the channel. Patreon's down low. It's also very important that you bash that turd squirrel I own over her head with your trusty net. Make sure you put that goddamn dirty squirrel in her place. Ione easily has one of the most punchable faces in the whole of Animal Crossing. Anyways, with that out of the way, let's continue the unboxing. Alright, time for the moment of truth. I wanted to delay this as long as I could, but I gotta make the cuts. In the box, and in terms of editing. Okay, so rather than looking at the figure facing me, I'll show it towards all of you, and I'll just look at my camera's screen, so I'm gonna see what you see. Now to confirm myself if everything is indeed there. It certainly looks like it. I'll show you all one more time. I'm not crazy, right? It looks complete. Oh right, let me check if this thing is still sealed. That should answer my question. Okay, this is gonna be really hard to see on camera, but trust me bros, the sealed tape is still intact on both sides. So I got a sealed Slacker action figure for only 40 clams, not bad considering eBay prices for a sealed one are $60 and up. Okay, now that I'm no longer concerned Doug, we can open up this action figure.
A few moments later.
Before I skip over a bunch of stuff, there's some artwork that doubles as instructions in regards to attaching Slater's shell and weapon to his back. Sometimes cool bullshit details like that are awesome.
3 hours later.
Everything's been unboxed. Here's the Turtles of Grayskull mini comic and the Slacker action figure proper with the included metal bottle parts intact. As is the case with most action figures, those annoying plastic bands to keep them secure are present, so I gotta...
1 eternity later.
That was a struggle. Well, everything's been unboxed, and for some dumb reason, I started off with Metal Bottle's crotch and thighs. Here's the main figure, Slacker's spiky shell, Metal Bottle's head, and Slacker's weapons. I noticed the damn plastic band was stuck to one of Slacker's joints, so I had to get that out of there. I guess we could finally put this action figure together, starting with the shell. Just gotta align the pegs on Slacker's back with the holes on his shell. Well, that wasn't hard. Now for the weapons. That's 1 and 2. 2. 2. 2. Why is this so difficult?
1 hour later.
Finally, I got Slacker fully assembled. Looks pretty cool, huh? Damn it, I attached the shell upside down. Gotta fix that. Okay, now I have Slacker properly assembled. As per with my reviews, why don't we move on to the close-up shots? I should be looking at this for what it is, a $25 to $30 action figure, not seeing this through the eyes of a scale figure enjoyer. From a close-up, the paint looks a bit rough on the edges, somewhat on the headband, but more so on the teeth. I could see Slacker's teeth are not fully painted, only at the front. I've said this many times before, but with minor issues like that, they're not visible through normal viewing and usage. You gotta zoom in on that shit. Oh, and that pizza display thing on his chest is really cool. Nothing wrong there. Onto Slacker's midsection. The colors are very simple. No details such as shading or blending, but the contrast between the various colors pretty much mask how each one is a solid color. That makes the action figure look detailed in its own right. For the area we're viewing, it looks like the most detailed part are Slacker's arms. Check out the definition on those babies. You can see those muscles from the moon. Probably. I mean, it's what you'd expect from a Masters of the Universe action figure, and fortunately, Slacker did not skip leg day, which is kind of a common theme with Origins and Cartoon Collection action figures. Like with Slacker's muscly muscle arms, Slacker got them ripped legs too. Knee joints have typically been my least favorite part of action figures as they really stand out like sore thumbs. I prefer what they did here. It's far easier on the eyes than these, for example. I know for a lot of people, joints like on these Tilas are deal breakers, but if I'm paying Ross prices, I could live with it. Now for some front close-up shots, because that's the point where people are typically going to view this, right? It's not like this is going to be the normal viewing angle most collectors go with, but hey, if you do, more power to you. No judgment here whatsoever. Back to the front close-ups. I mean, what else is there to say? Slacker looks really cool and is a nice contrast from the heroic turtles. This is probably my favorite part of the figure. I wonder what the heck clawed at him to do that kind of damage. Again, I love the pizza display there. Gotta be careful with it though. It looks like it could scratch off easily. Handle with care. And I gotta say, those neon pink shoulder pads stand out, and it's the same for his light colored belt. What does Z stand for anyways? Zorro? Oh, it's a backwards S? I don't remember Slash very well, but was he kind of an idiot? I mean, going off his 1987 cartoon version, he looks like one. He kinda reminds me of a turtle version of Nelson Muntz. And here's the metal bottle parts. I can't say much else until I unbox the other action figures that contain the remaining pieces for this action figure. I guess the only thing left to do is test out the articulation of the action figure. So that hand swivels completely, and that hand does as well. I think we're off to a really good start here. The feet do the same thing too. Awesome. By the way, did the toys from Toy Story show any discomfort when their joints were turned in weird ways, or were they unfazed because the joints made it that having backwards feet was natural? More questions that keep me up at night. The elbow joints seem fine, and the rest of the arm appears to have pretty good range of motion as well. I don't really know what else to do or say. Reviewing action figures is not my forte. Heck, I could say the same about reviews in general, but whatever. Before I go off topic again, the head is capable of doing the exorcist spin, but Slacker's shell can impede the process when it's attached. You could easily bend the headband over the shell, but I'd advise against doing that repeatedly as a stress point appears to be at the knot of the headband. Forcibly bending it constantly may cause it to rip at the knot. I did have stability issues with Slacker, not the crazy, insane kind of issues. Poor word choice. Balance issues. Yes, that'll do. Anyways, with the shell on, Slacker is a bit back heavy, so he has a tendency to fall backwards. See? However, after some trial and error, I finally got Slacker to stand on his own. It's possible my table might not be level, or more likely, a skill issue on my part. Maybe I should retract the balance issue statement. I don't feel like editing it out. For the heck of it, I lined up Slacker next to one of my favorite scale figures, Alter's Mila Maxwell. And you know what? I think Slacker holds up just fine. From this view alone, I'm convinced an action figure collection, if curated and presented in a clean, organized manner, can look just as good as a collection of scale figures. When I bought this, I really thought there was a chance I could have received an opened and possibly incomplete figure, even though there was no mention of missing parts and the only thing I saw was the condition, which said used, mint. That's still rather vague. However, with Amazon's no-hassle return policy, I knew I wasn't taking a risk. I still think I managed to luck out considering how pricey Slacker is now. Masters of the Universe action figures typically come with mini comics, or at least the Origins and Cartoon Collection action figures do. Not sure about the Masterverse or bigger box ones. It looks like the Turtles and Grayskull action figures have their own comics as well. Let's open this up and check it out. Hold on, something looks a bit odd. Let me go in for a closer look. It's not a comic, it's just a card. Well, I totally bamboozled myself. I guess I should have paid attention to the back of the box. It typically says when an action figure comes with a mini comic, and there is no such indicator on Slacker's box. I'm still a rookie when it comes to this. At least we can appreciate the artwork. It is pretty sick looking after all. I guess admiring the artwork is part of the experience when it comes to Masters of the Universe action figures. And it turns out this is actually an info card. Slacker, Evil Cybernetic Snapping Turtle, Mutagen Master Powers, Faker. Faker? Oh, is this a mix of Slash and Faker? Damn, I'm slow. So wait, how do you pronounce the name then? Is it Slacker or Slaker? Viewers, let me know what you think. For consistency's sake, I'll continue with Slacker. So in the end, Slacker is really solid. He's the very first Masters of the Universe action figure I opened and reviewed. Took long enough, huh? I'm looking forward to opening the rest and completing that metal bottle Build-A-Figure. Fellow Masters of the Universe enjoyers, let me know what you like to collect from the franchise. Also, for those who collect action figures from the Turtles of Grayskull line, which characters do you recommend? Again, sound off in the comments. And that does it for the review / unboxing. Real talk, the lead up to opening the Amazon box was giving me some heckin' anxiety. I really thought I was gonna get bamboozled, but in the end, it worked out, so it's all good. If you enjoyed the video and have some more time on your hands, check out one of my toy bargain hunting runs or one of my previous reviews. I'll see you there. If not, I'll see you later.